Welcome to Better Bets, where we bet
Where we
better.
bet better.
My name is Alec. This is Moxie. We're going to do a breakdown for the Week 5 NFL matchups, starting with tonight's game. It's Thursday, October 6th, and we're going to start breaking down the Indianapolis Colts playing at the Denver Broncos. Let me kick it off to you, Malik. Let me get your first thoughts on the game. Remember, no Jonathan Taylor tonight, and Javonte Williams torn ACL last week. What'd you think?
Man, I really don't have a side on this game. Broncos getting 64% of the bets on their spread, 70% of the money. Money line, 73% of the bets on the money line, 86% of the money. Man, this is a really ugly game. I was leaning the Colts plus the points. And I really don't know because this is a really ugly game.
And why do you think it's an ugly game?
Man,
I almost said Chargers. Geez, Broncos their offense still didn't look that great, even against the Raiders last week.
Yeah, I mean,
missed a lot of open plays.
I don't really know if I can trust Russell Wilson, man. He has been really ugly.
I mean, the Colts have a really decent defense also.
I mean, yeah, but leaning towards the Colts, you got Matt Ryan. He's a trash can.
He has looked like a garbage can this season.
I really do not have a side on this game. I don't at all.
Not playing a side? No. Okay. Well, taking a look, yeah, you're absolutely right. Denver right now, it's 3:40 p.m. Eastern time. We are based in Las Vegas, Nevada. 64% of the bets on the Broncos, 70% of the money, 68% of the bets on that under, 80% of the money on the under, 73% of the bets on the money line, 86% of the money. This just looks like a lopsided game. And what does that typically look like, especially on a Thursday, a Sunday, and a Monday night?
Man, I really don't know. Shit.
What do you mean you don't know? When we typically see like one-sided games on Thursdays, I mean, 86% of the money. Typically, Vegas doesn't take a fat hit like this, especially on just a solo game.
Correct. So that would tell you right there to lean towards the Colts right there.
I'm not saying Colts money line. Don't get me wrong, but typically, it is typically safe to bet against the public in situations like this. Just putting your money with the house. I mean, the Strip and these casinos, these books, they weren't built on winners. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for damn sure.
I'm looking at a first half total of 20.5. I'm actually pulling up my phone right now just so I can pop into Boyd real quick, just to see if there's been any change in that number, because I am leaning a first half under in this matchup.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at a 20.5 right now.
Oh, so you do see a 20.5 sitting there?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just pulling up the game. First half.
I'm looking at a 20
it's
and a
juiced.
half and
it's
minus
juiced.
125.
Yeah, they juiced that under at 125, which what's been the trend this year though? First half overs and then second half nothings?
Second half unders.
So that could be something too. That could be something also. I mean, it's Broncos are -2 at 125. I still like that first half under. I 20.5, even with the juice, man. I don't I really don't see the Colts offense has been really stagnant. I mean, they did show signs and flashes against the Chiefs. The Chiefs were looking ahead. Let's be honest here. They were looking at beating up on Tom and getting that revenge from the Super Bowl. So, I mean, does that really say much here? I don't know.
I mean, I think you're totally correct on that.
I'm leaning Colts to cover. Is it 3.5 for the whole game? It is.
Yeah.
3.5 minus 115. Something funky, maybe.
This is really going to be a funky game.
I see this as being a really funky game. Definitely not pretty, but I think I'm leaning Colts. One trend to look at, right? One trend to look at when you look at the Denver Broncos, they are 0-9 against the spread before the Chargers. Who do they have next week? They got the Chargers, big dog.
Yeah, they got the Chargers. A division game. I really think Denver's looking towards that game right there. It's a division game.
On the road on a Monday night.
Yep.
So, I mean,
they really look funky against the Raiders.
Yeah.
Short rest.
And they had some injuries. They had some injuries on the defensive side. And they lost Javonte Williams for the year. Torn ACL. Gone. They did just pick up Latavius Murray. He's not active for tonight's game. Wasn't enough time, get him in there, learn the plays real quick. So he is inactive tonight. He will be in that backfield with Melvin Gordon week 6. So that's another thing to think about. Just not for tonight's game. We should probably move on to the next game. We've already spent about 7.5 minutes on this. Plain and simple, ugly game. I am gonna put some money down on the Colts. I'm not gonna make it one of my official plays. This is just for fun. Probably half unit Colts plus the 3.5, and then first half under.
Yeah, I like it. I like that first half under.
You like it?
Yeah.
Nice. You gonna put any action in on this?
I'm not. I'm gonna wait until tomorrow for postseason baseball. Try to make some money tomorrow on postseason. I really like in postseason. I like the Cardinals this first game. Albert Pujols not last, but last play postseason. I think they get the dub this first game. Get the momentum going.
Okay.
They're really trying to make a World Series run right now, and I think maybe put a little action on taking the NL pennant right now before the game starts. I really like it.
Okay.
Because they got to really, I'm not going to say a high chance of winning the NL, but they have a chance of winning the NL. Adam Wainwright's retiring this year. Yadier Molina's retiring this year. They got some young pieces. I think this team is really great.
Hey, take some advice. Hey, even if you just sprinkle a little bit on it. Hey, what do you got to lose, right? All right, but let's move on to this next NFL game. We got the Packers playing the Giants. Neutral site in London. It's going to be a 6:30 a.m. Eastern time kickoff. Or sorry, Eastern time. Pacific time, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. And you got Green Bay coming off of a big win against the Patriots. Mac Jones injured his ankle on the last play of the game. That is not the case whatsoever. 2 games ago, my brain. But we did lose Brian Hoyer. Backup quarterback's out, right? So it's Billy Zappi, right? Is he
Yeah,
starting this week?
yeah, I think so because Brian Hoyer is injured.
And now we hurt that shoulder. Give me some thoughts. What do you think about Green Bay Packers but neutral site against the Giants? Giants have been looking really good recently. 3-1 start, the first 3-1 start for any head coach since Tom Coughlin in 2004.
Yeah, man. It's an early game, early start. Man, I'm thinking you can take the Giants plus this 8. I think it's really gonna be a little tough game.
This is the first time in 32 games played in London that there are 2 teams with winning records. I thought that was a crazy statistic.
Yeah, that's really crazy.
I think this is I like your first look at this. I like the Giants plus the points. They got a lot of sharp money on them, right? 57% of the bets on Green Bay, only 37% of the money, 63% of the money is on Green Bay plus the points. You got 52% of the bets on the under with 88% of the money lying there. The spread has dropped. It says it's opened here at 45.5, sitting at 41 now. But you have 94% of the bets and 87% of the money on the money line with Green Bay. In this spot, I do like the Giants. Giants also lead the league in rushing yards. And Green Bay's offense doesn't look like it's looked like before. Aaron Rodgers, I mean, not to say that he hasn't been making throws, but his receivers have not been catching the ball. A lot of drops. Green Bay's been running the ball well. They have 2 running backs who are just ridiculous. And Saquon looks like Saquon.
Yeah, those Barkley.
I think the sharp money being on this under is smart. What I played at the 41 where it's at right now. If this game was in New York, yes. I have this crazy stat with the Giants where, I mean, depending where you got the number on the Monday night game at the Giants when they played the Cowboys, you either hit it over or you hit it under. The opening line was 39.5, went down to 38.5, finished right at 39. But since week 8 of 2020, every single home game for the Giants has went under. That's 13 now, 14 straight matchups. I got it at 39.5. I did get that under by the hook. So I just don't trust the 41 on a neutral site. I trust the Giants defense at home. Same with the Jets. I don't have a crazy stat like that for the Jets playing at home, but these New York teams and their defenses in MetLife, there's something different. I just don't see a spot here to take Green Bay by the 8. Could you tease it? Absolutely. You could probably middle there and take Green Bay minus the 1. Minus the 2, 6-point tease. You could tease the Giants up. You can get them plus 2 touchdowns. That's a good middle spot here in this game. But other than that, I don't really have anything else to say other than I like the Giants plus the points. I just do. The money's there. I don't see a spot where Green Bay goes and blows anybody out of the water. They have yet to do it this year. I mean, they were at home against the Patriots, and forbid the play where the clock hit 0 and they didn't call delay a game. It is what it is, and look what the Patriots did. And the Patriots offense is not what it used to be either. It looks very stagnant this year. I think it's a good spot.
Yeah, and you got to realize that the Patriots were on their 2nd string to their 3rd string.
3rd string quarterback. You are absolutely correct.
And I think that Daniel Jones is better than those 2 string quarterbacks.
Yeah. I mean, even with that injured ankle, I don't see. I mean, is Daniel Jones going to be mobile like he normally is? Probably not. Giants offensive line has looked really nice. They have the most rushing yards in the league this year. I don't see a spot where where this game probably doesn't go over that opening number, and I don't see a spot where Green Bay just blows them out. I just don't. I see it how it is. But let's move on to that next game. We got Pittsburgh at Buffalo. You got Buffalo sitting as 14-point favorites. Total sitting at 46.5. 58% of the bet, 60% of the money on Pittsburgh plus those points. You got 64% of the bet, 77% of the money on the under 46.5. 51% of the bets, 91% of the money on Buffalo money line. First takes on that game, Malik.
Man, 2 touchdowns. I really don't think, taking the Bills minus 14 is smart. They do have less money on their spread. Sharp money's on Pittsburgh's spread. But I think I'm leaning the Bills first half. If you can get at a touchdown, I think they cover in the first half.
What's it sitting at Boyd right now?
At Boyd?
Yeah. First half.
I think we got a
7.5. I'm looking at it. It's Bills minus 7.5, minus 110.
Yeah. Man, I think I'm really leaning towards the Bills first half. I think if you get a 7, great. 7.5 is fine. I think they really blow out the Steelers this first half.
Well, the Bills are one of the fastest starting teams in the NFL. I think they are the only NFL team to score a touchdown on every opening possession. I could be wrong. I'm going off the top of my memory here, but I believe that is the case.
Yeah, I really like these Bills first half. I think they're really pissed off that they had a close game against the Ravens. Mm-hmm. I just really think they're going to put it out on the Steelers.
You think they're just going to put it out on the Steelers?
Yeah.
All right. They definitely could. The one thing to think about here, right? When you think about our little book, right? Me and Malik, we study every week using Mark Lawrence playbook. Great book, great statistics, great analytics. He has great breakdowns, good knowledge in there. One of his power plays this week is to play the Bills on Pittsburgh on the 9th. And I think isn't his plays like either 3-1 or 4-0 this year?
Yep.
So, I mean, that's something to think about. I definitely am leaning the Bills also. But I was looking at the lean in a different direction. I was leaning the Bills to go over the first half total. And their first half total is 16 points.
Damn, that's a real total, right? Low total right there.
Yeah, their first half team total is 16, and I really like them to go over that 16. The spread at 14 points, it's a lot of points in the NFL, right? And like we talked about, any team can beat any team on any given Sunday, right? Not saying that this is a spot that the Steelers are going to come into Buffalo and beat the Bills. But I don't really want to play a side necessarily when I can just look at the Bills and say, I need 17 in the first half. Because I mean, you got Bill. If you take Bills minus 7.5 first half, you're sitting minus 110. If you want to touch any of the totals, I mean, at least on board what we're looking at, it's at 23.5 plus 100, or under 23.5, it's juiced minus 120. Personally, I'd rather just take Bills over 16 at minus 110. There's no juice. I don't have to worry about Steelers backdoor covering potentially. I don't have to worry about any funky ending to that half. I just need the Bills to score, and that's seamlessly what they've been doing all year. Last home game that they had against the Titans, they blew the Titans out. Now, Another thing to think about is, Steelers defense without TJ Watt is a lot different than when he's playing. And I don't know. If you look at what the Steelers did last week. Do you think there's any overreaction?
No, I don't think it's any reaction at all. This Steelers team is just really terrible. Mitchell Trubisky is absolutely garbage. He's garbage.
I mean, think about it. Think about it, bro. They lost to the Jets at home. The Jets.
Yeah.
The New York Football Jets.
That is pretty funky right there.
We had our money on the Jets last week, and we were dancing. We were dancing in the living room, that's for sure. But I don't know. I think it's going to be closer than this 14's given. But also, the Bills can go out and just pounce on somebody if they really want to. Another thing to think about, though, is the Bills have that rematch against Kansas City.
Yeah.
Remember what happened remember what happened in the divisional round? The end of that game was the craziest ending I think I've seen since the Patriots came back 28-3 in the Super Bowl, bro. I've never seen two teams in the final 2 minutes exchange that many scores. And you gave Patrick Mahomes 16 seconds to go down the field and put his team in a position to hit a game-winning field goal, and that's exactly what happened. You were sick. I was sick. Your dad was sick. We were laying our money on the Bills. And I'm going to put my money on the Bills next week, but we'll leave that to next week. That is something to think about. Are they looking ahead? Who knows? I want to stick to the first half in this game. I want to stick to just the Bills team total and just let that ride out. I'm not going to make that an official play either, but that's what I'm leaning. That's what I'm looking, and I will put some fun money on it.
Yeah. I'm really leaning towards the Bills first half minus the 7.5. I think they come out firing the first half.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe the Steelers get that backdoor cover for the full game. But first half, not going to make an official play, but that's what I like.
All right, I like it. All right, let's move on to this next game. We have the Los Angeles Chargers at the Cleveland Browns. Sitting right now, Chargers sitting as a road favorite, minus 2.5. You got 54% of the bets, 83% of the money on Cleveland as home dogs. 52% of the bets, 62% of the money on that over. It is currently sitting at 47.5. And you have 58% of the bets, but 59% of the money line on the Chargers. So you have more money on the money line as Chargers as away favorites, but a lot of sharp money sitting on Cleveland as home dogs. Give me your first thoughts on this, bro.
Man, there's a lot of money on Cleveland spread right now. I'm not going to say two terrible teams, but the Chargers just look terrible right now. They're struggling. They have a lot of injuries. Justin Herbert, he's kind of shaking up. Man,
he's still dealing with that what is it, rib cartilage or fractured rib?
Yeah, that fractured rib.
Didn't look great last week, that's for sure. Did not look good at all.
But I will say that the Browns are not good either. Jacoby Brissett, he looks terrible. I think I will play the Chargers money line. Give me the Chargers money line.
You're gonna play Chargers money line?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, another thing to sit back and look on is this is only the Browns' second home game of the season, right? First game of the year, they did beat the Steelers 29-17 at home. That loss last week to the Falcons was on the road. And maybe the Falcons are just a little better than we thought. Drake London looks great. Still looking to see some more usage out of Kyle Pitts. Cordero Patterson got hurt in that game. He's out this week. But Cordero Patterson ran all over them. I know there's a lot of money on the Browns to cover. I like the home dog, man. I like the home dog. I love taking home dogs. This is probably a teaser spot for me. Not gonna lie. You can get them up over a touchdown. You get them at 8.5, right? So even something funky. You're looking pretty decent there. One thing to look at is the Chargers are what? Who do they have next week? They have that divisional game on Monday night against Denver. If we look at the standings for the AFC West, that division is pretty tight, especially with, you got Kansas City 3-1, you have Raiders 1-3, right? Denver and the Chargers are going to be sitting at 2-2. It's going to make a pretty interesting matchup, especially with Denver playing tonight against the Colts. They should win the game. But if that is the case and the Chargers win that game, Denver wins this game tonight, you really have the Chargers looking as like they got to win this game on the road and then go home. They get an extra day rest. It's a Monday night game, but they are going to try to be sitting at 3-2. It's a really close spread, 2.5. Is it a field goal game?
These 2.5s are pretty funky to bet on.
They are pretty funky to bet on. But personally, I think it's just a spot to tease the Cleveland Browns here at home. I like the home dogs. I'm not going to make this an official play either. However, let's tease Cleveland and take the Chargers money line. We'll see both the Chargers and the Broncos sitting at 3-2 to make it a very interesting AFC West matchup on a Monday night in LA. I think that has a nice storyline to it. But let's go ahead and move on to this next game where we have the Chicago Bears visiting the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings are sitting at 77% of the bets, 67% of the money on a 7.5-point spread. 56% of the bets, 95% of the money on the under. Under sitting at 44. 94% of the bets with only 67% of the money on the Vikings money line, which just makes me think, you got 6% of the bets on Chicago money line, but 33% of the money. Do I think Chicago is going to come out and win this game? Absolutely not. Not off the top. But one thing that does speak to me is it shows that this opening line opened at 43, is now sitting at 44, but 95% of the money is on the under. So that spread went up. But the spread went up, but the money's on the under. Typically a telltale sign that they're trying to bait people to put the money on the under. Looking at Chicago, right? They're 1-3 to the under. They've only had one game go over, where Minnesota is 2-2 to the over. They did just go and play in London last week, where that game went over against the Saints. Tell me what you're thinking about this, bro.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards the over, and I'm leaning towards the Bears. I think that touchdown is really good to get. That 7.5 is really good to get. You can buy it up to 8. Justin Fields looks like a decent quarterback. I think the Bears are going to be so-so.
Let me ask you this. what makes you think Justin Fields is a decent quarterback? I mean, look at his statistics this year. Has there even been a game that he's thrown for 200 yards yet? He has two touchdowns on the season. 1 week 5.
Okay, let me take that back. He's an okay quarterback.
He's a good quarterback in a tough situation.
Yeah. This is a division game right here. I
Yeah.
think it's really going to be a tight game, flip back and forth scoring, and this total goes over.
Okay, so you're liking the Bears to go over?
Yeah.
Okay, I could definitely see that. One thing to think about here is the Bears are 1-4 in the last 5 against the spread against the Bears. Definitely something interesting. Looking at Mark Lawrence's playbook, I do just want to look at those matchups last year. In the first matchup when Chicago played Minnesota, it was a home game. Against Minnesota, it was a Monday night game. It was 9-17. It was a 7.5 point spread. The total was at 47. And then when the Bears played at Minnesota, they were 3.5 point dogs. Total was 44, kind of like what we're looking at, and it was 17-31. So it went under the first matchup, and then over the second. But that first matchup had a higher total. I don't know. I just, with how that number looks compared to where the money's laying right now, I do like that total over. I do think, I just, do you want to buy the half point up to 8? I don't know, man. With the way Minnesota's offense, I mean, sometimes it just looks so freaking bad. And then other times it just looks really freaking good. You got Justin Jefferson, you got Dalvin Cook. I mean, can Kirk pull one together? Can he pull one together this week? That's the question. I like the game over. I want to take that game over 44 points. And that's the only look I really have here. I don't want to take a side. I'm not looking to buy up. I'm not looking to cover a 7.5. I think going over that 44 and just putting trust into the Minnesota offense to let it do the thing everyone said it was going to be doing all year, where it really hasn't yet. That's just the spot I'm taking.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to say though is Mark Lawrence has a power play on this game. Power play the Bears at the Vikings on 10-9.
Yeah, or you could you can tease these Bears up to 14 and a half. Get 2 touchdowns.
Is that what you're liking?
I think on this game, I'm more to the over.
You're more to the overs? Yeah. See, if you want to put a little teaser parlay together, right, you can tease the Giants plus the 14. Tease this total down. Tease this bad boy down to 38.
Let me correct you. The Bears. You said the Giants. It's the Bears.
No. I'm saying parlay the Giants on the tease plus 14.
Okay.
To the Minnesota and Bears over. You would have what? Giants at plus 14, and then you'd have this game over 38.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds like a hitter right there.
It's a nice little look there. But other than that, I don't really want to. I'm not going to play a side on this game. But we can move on to this next game where we got your Patriots. I say your Patriots only because you know how I've been leaning away. Little backstory. Me and Malik both been Patriots fans for a really long time. Since Brady left and Cam became our quarterback, I have slowly but surely been backing away from the Patriots. When the Bears jumped us in the draft and drafted Justin Fields, I wanted Justin Fields so badly. For one, I now hate the Bears forever, and I care less about them. I do hope to see Justin Fields do well. As I've backed away from being a Patriots fan, I'm more towards just being fans of players Also, I feel like it helps give me better perspective as a bettor, not necessarily having my heart in any one corner. So, but looking at this game, we have Detroit at New England. Spread sitting at New England -3, totals at 45.5. You got 55% of the bets on the Lions to cover, but only 17% of the money. 83% of the money is on New England to cover that 3. You got 69% of the bets on the over, 69% of the money, and you got 61% of the bets with 59% of the money on the money line. And give me the breakdown of your New England Patriots, bud.
Yeah, these Patriots look absolutely garbage down to their third string quarterback. Man, I really do not have a side on this game, but we'll look towards the total going under. The the Lions are 4-0 to the over. I think the Patriots defense looked pretty decent last week, keeping a close game to the Packers. And I'm leaning towards this under full game.
You're looking at the under for the full game?
Yeah.
Let me just ask you why, when you're looking at such a powerhouse of an offense in the Lions, and I say powerhouse of an offense because they do lead the league in scoring right now through 4 weeks.
Man, I think, going up to New England plays a factor. I think the defense shows out. Patriots defense will show out this game. Try to get their second win of the season. I think it'll be a really tight game. Maybe look at taking lines on a teaser. And maybe you can middle this game, taking Patriots money line to get their second win.
Okay, so you're looking at taking the game under and then taking New England money line. So you're putting your faith in this defense then.
Yeah, I'm pretty much putting the faith in this defense.
So what do you think the game plan is going to be then?
Man,
because remember, this is Matt Patricia. I mean, as of now, I mean, we know who's really calling plays? No, but Matt Patricia is playing his former team. He was the head coach there a couple years back.
Yep, that's something to look at. Is Matt Patricia going to have this game plan where, Patriots just go out and fire? I mean, I really don't know about it. I really think the game plan is going to be on the run, and just hopefully Patriots defense comes out to play.
You think the Patriots defense just comes out to play?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, definitely could happen. Detroit is 1-3 in the last 4 away against the spread against the Patriots, and I'm off this game. I don't trust the opening part of this schedule for the Lions. I mean, they did play the Eagles in week 1 at home, so it's a little different. But then they've played Washington, Minnesota, who Minnesota looked garbage, and that was a divisional game. And then they played Seattle at home, and that was the highest scoring game of the year. Seattle was supposed to be one of the top 3 worst teams in the league. They're sitting at 2-2. So are these Detroit offensive numbers just inflated right now? Can we really trust them? I don't know. I'm off the game. I do not have any looks as of yet. Could things change between now being Thursday and Sunday? Absolutely. We're always looking for additional angles. Just as right now, I don't have anything to say about it. I really don't think there's any look for me right now. I will look at some props, potentially maybe a tease. Could you tease New England to plus 3.5 on a 6.5 point tease. Sure. But then I'm thinking, well, is it just better to maybe play Detroit money line then? But then that leads into me not trusting their offense and the schedule so far. So I don't know. As of right now, I'd rather stay off the game and leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go with the under.
Go with the under? Okay. I like it. But let's take a look at this next game, right? Where we got Seattle Seahawks at the New Orleans Saints. Saints are sitting at 5.5 point favorites. Total sitting at 46.5. You got 62% of the bets, 86% of the money on the Seahawks is 5.5 point dogs. 76% of the bets, 96% of this money is on the total over. 73% of the bets on New Orleans money line. However, only 32% of the money. So you have 68% of the money on Seattle. So 68% of the money on the Seattle money line, 96% of the money on this over, 86% of the money, 62% of the bets on Seattle to cover this spread. There's too much money on Seattle, in my opinion. Seattle's supposed to be one of the 3 worst teams in the league. Geno's playing a hell of a game at quarterback right now. I will say that. But the Saints played a close game in a neutral site in London against a tough offense.
Yeah, and you got to remember the Saints are beat up too.
Saints are beat up too.
Yeah.
But think about this. What, besides playing in London last week, I think this is a little overreaction to that high-scoring game that Seattle had against Denver. That's really what I think this is.
Yeah, let me ask you this: why is this line open at 4.5, and why is it going up if Seattle has most of the money on them?
Is that a trap to maybe bait people to get Seattle at plus even more money?
Yeah, I think it might be a trap, and take the Saints here at 5.5.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a spot to take the Saints. Even with them coming back after playing, what was it? Playing in London. I don't know. When you look at Seattle, right? They're 1-3 in their last 4, and 1-3 in their last 4 away against the Saints, against the spread. I don't really see a spot here that Seattle covers anything.
Yeah, they really need their defense to show up in this game if they.
The total's moved up 5.5 points.
Yeah,
the Saints can lock down a team. Think about it. The NFC South. They really. Any team on any, they got to think about the Bucs. These guys think about the Buccaneers. I don't know. I think this is a spot where there's too much money on Seattle. I think there's a big overreaction to how the game went last week against the Lions. And the Lions have one of the worst defenses in the league, statistically speaking. People may not agree with me. I definitely see bettors are not agreeing with me, especially where there's money's lying right now. It is early. It is Thursday. Things can change and probably will change. But, sitting Thursday right here, right now on the 6th, I like the Saints. To cover this. They probably win by a touchdown.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
simple as that. There's just too much money on Seattle. But let's go ahead and let's move on to this next game, right? We have a Tua-less Miami Dolphins visiting at the New York Jets. Spread's currently sitting at Miami's a 3-point away favorite. Total is at 45.5, right where it opened. You got 76% of the bets, 85% of the money on the Dolphins with Teddy B at QB. 63% of the bets, 82% of the money on that total to go over. And you have 53% of the money, or 53% of the bets, 63% of the money on the Dolphins money line. This is coming off the Jets winning on the road against the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you think about this game, bro? Looking over this spot here, this is not what I thought I'd be seeing.
Man, I really don't have a side on this game. Can we trust Teddy B? Yeah. I mean, he's a decent quarterback, but this Jets team is absolutely on fire. I think looking at a tease on the Jets here.
You want to tease the Jets at home? I do like that. You can get them over the touchdown. You can get them at 9 points. As a home dog, I like that. I also look at how much money's on that total over, right? 82% of the money, 63% of the bets. Yep. The total hasn't moved. It's still right where it opened at 45.5. You think people, Miami does have a stout offense. I mean, Tyreek's doing what Tyreek does. He's down there somewhere.
Yeah.
But that kind of speaks to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
And so you say you don't really have any side on this, right?
No.
I'm just looking over the playbook right now, and I mean the Jets are 0-4 in their last 4 at home against the spread against the Dolphins. Looking back to last year's matchup, let's see, against Miami, they were 4-point dogs at home and lost 24-17. They were 4-point dogs at home, and the total was sitting at 44. Total went under. Miami covered the spread. Let's just see. When they played again, later in the year at Miami. It was 24-31. It was a 10-point spread. Pushed the spread. Miami didn't cover that. Jets did cover that second game, but the total was only 41, and that thing flew over. Miami almost put up 41 themselves. It was 31-24. Don't think it's gonna be that type of game. I do think the game will be going under. But is it gonna be a field goal game?
It could possibly be a field goal game, division game.
This is Miami coming off a lot of rest here.
Man, I don't think I'm gonna play a side here. I'm just gonna take the Jets on the 7-point teaser. Get them plus
Okay.
10.
I like it. Are you gonna take a 7-point tease, not a 6?
Yeah, 7-point teaser here.
Alrighty. Moving on to the next game, we have the Atlanta Falcons playing at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers sitting as 10-point favorites, total sitting at 46 points. You have 72% of the bets on Tampa Bay, 64% of the money on the Atlanta Falcons. 70% of the money on the 70% of the bets on the under, 87% of the money on that under. 76% of the bets on Tampa Bay money line, with 92% of that money on the money line. Go ahead, give me your first breakdown.
You know, Buccaneers played a tough game last week. Man, Tom Brady just looks he looks beat. This man is getting a divorce. Man, can he be pissed off and come out this game firing? I don't know. Maybe. But this Falcons team is 4-0 against the spread. They look good. Mariota looks like a good quarterback. The little old Mariota from Oregon. I mean, he's doing pretty decent. He can run. I think this Falcons team is going to be pretty decent.
Okay. Well, here's something I think about also. Does Tom Brady look beat? Yes. He's played 23 years in the NFL.
Man,
This is his
but
23rd year in the NFL.
you got to realize this man is getting a divorce. He just looks even more beat.
Yeah, but another thing to think about, they're coming off back-to-back losses. Tom Brady hasn't lost 3 straight games as a starter since 2002.
I
You
mean,
think
here,
you think that trend breaks tonight or tonight? Sorry, you think that trend breaks this week?
I mean, I am no near saying that Falcons pull out this game.
Okay.
I think they could possibly cover.
Okay. Okay. So you're looking at Tampa Bay, or sorry, not Tampa Bay, Atlanta to cover that 10.
Yeah.
The bettors would be agreeing with that. Bettors would be agreeing with that. They think that this game's going to go under the 46. I just want to take a look at the last year's matchup. See the first game at Tampa Bay, just to see what happened here. When they played Atlanta at home last year, it was a 14-point spread. Total was set to 52, and Tampa rolled them 48-25. It was the second game of the year. When they played later in the year at Atlanta, it was 30-17. They were 12-point favorites, covered that spread. The total was 50, and it went under. So it was an over-under split last year. Game went over in Tampa, under in Atlanta. I think I'm liking this game to go over, and bettors are not going to agree with me. Look at where that money is. Tampa Bay's 1-3 to the under right now. 1 game is went over, 3 games went under. Atlanta is sitting at 3-1, 3 games over, 1 game under. I get what happened last week, right? They got rolled by Kansas City, but they still put up 31 points. Take away the fumble on the kickoff and take away that sack fumble. That was 14 points off turnovers right there. Tampa Bay was down in the game when they should have started with the ball. They were down 7-0 14 seconds into that game. You got to think about that rematch and what Tampa Bay what Kansas City was thinking about. They lost against the Colts the week before, and they've been sitting on that Super Bowl loss for almost 2 years. They came in to take care of business, and it showed. I think Tampa Bay is going to bounce back here. I think this is a bounce back spot. And 10 points is a lot. Any team can do anything on any given week. Give me Tampa Bay to go over this 46. Maybe even their team total over. I haven't checked what their team total is right now. Let me go to Boyd real quick. Tampa Bay Buccaneers and look at the home total points. 28 at -110. 28 at -110. And Falcons are sitting at 17.5. So I don't know. I mean, it puts that 17.5, 28, 45.5, games at 46. I think the game goes over. Give me Tampa Bay to go over 28 team total.
Okay.
And give me the over 46 in this game. We'll move on to this next game. Tennessee at Washington. I almost said the football team. Oh my goodness. It's the Commies. The Washington Commanders hosting Tennessee. Tennessee is an away favorite. They are 2-point favorites with 77% of the bets on the spread, 85% of the money. Total sitting at 43. 66% of the bets, with only 53% of the money leaning towards that over. 82% of the bets on the money line, with 61% of the money on the money line on Tennessee. And it looks like this is a spot where Tennessee is just taking all the money here. 43. What do you think about this game, bro?
I think I'm looking towards the Commanders' money line. There is just too much money on the Titans. Commanders look pretty shaky. They played a Cowboys team on the road. But now they're at home. Give me the Commanders.
So you like the Commanders' money line at home?
Yeah.
I like it. I'm thinking about it's hard. I've been preaching it all year. Carson Wentz gets so much hate, man. I'm like, he's really not that bad of a quarterback. Like, if you think about the spots he's been in, I mean, he's not been in the best spots. He doesn't have the best offensive line. He gets beat up quite often. Um, I keep trying to take this man. I keep trying to preach for him. Not necessarily backing him, but he just hasn't proven it this year yet. Is this the game and the spot that it happens? I don't know. Um, I think for me personally, I'm off this game. I don't have any good looks. I don't have anything necessarily that I like. Personally, I'd probably just tease this game and I'd take Washington +8 at home because I like teasing home dogs just for the fun of it. Other than that, no looks here.
Okay, give me Commanders money line as an official play.
Commanders money line is official play. Smack that. All right, buddy. We will look at the next matchup here. Ugly matchup, if I do say so myself. We have the Houston Texans at the Jacksonville Jaguars, coming off a pretty nice game, right? Jacksonville looks good, which is weird to say. Jacksonville's 7-point favorites at home. They got 68% of the bets, only 47% of the money. Total sitting at 43.5, right where it opened. 59% of the bets on the over. However, 72% of the money is on the under. So there's sharp action on the under. There's sharp action on the Texans. 58% of the bets, 52% of the money on Jacksonville money line. What are you thinking here?
Man, I think this 7 is a lot of points. Houston tied with the Colts. Man, Jacksonville looks like a pretty decent team, but I just think 7 is a lot of points. I think this should be maybe Jacksonville -3 or maybe a 2.
Jacksonville -3, maybe a 2.
Yeah.
I mean, with the betting percentage compared to the betting money, why did the spread move 4 points? I think it's an ugly game here. It's an ugly spot. I personally, I would think about teasing that 43.5 down. It's Jacksonville's been scoring some points, man. Doug Peterson's really got this offense looking pretty decent. One thing I do want to bring up here is Houston is 3-1 in the last 4 games away against the spread against Jacksonville. Jacksonville's sitting at 1-3, last 4 at home. And, they put up the first 2 touchdowns against the Eagles, didn't do anything. Then they put up a lousy touchdown at the end. They scored 21 points against the Eagles on the road. It's more than what you could say what Jacksonville would have done the past couple of years. But look at what Houston has done, right? Aren't they still winless? They tied the Colts week 1.
Yep, they
Looks
are.
like they have the winless team, right? And they seem like they can stick. Like, they fall behind early, they claw their way back, and then they fall out of it again. That seems to be the pattern of this Texans team this year in pretty much every game the first 4 weeks. I don't see anything changing here.
I think this is going to be one of my official plays on Houston +7. Division game. It's going to be a tight game. I think Houston's defense will show up in this game. So give me official play on Houston +7.
Houston +7. Okay. part of me wants to look and wait to see if I can get this down to maybe 6.5. If it falls to 6.5, I'm gonna have to go against you, bro. I'm sorry. Jacksonville's record is of recent against the Texans. The last 4 at home, being 1-3 against the spread. One thing to think about is Houston swept Jacksonville last year. Jacksonville was in turmoil last year with everything surrounding. God, why can't I think of his name right now? Who's the head coach of them last year? From Ohio State.
Shoot. Frick, I can't even remember.
Urban Meyer.
Okay.
I think Jacksonville's. I think this might be the year where they start trying to put it together. Maybe next year they'll be even better. As this season progresses, teams start gelling. They can start winning games that no one ever saw them winning. Not saying this is that spot, but with that money, 68% of the bets, but only 47% of the money. Sharp money's on Houston. If that spread moves, I'd want to take Jacksonville. I would want to take Jacksonville to cover the spread. I think there's a lot of guys on this team from last year who definitely remember getting swept. And typically, guys don't like getting swept by divisional opponents. That hurts. That sits with you. I'm not going to make an official play yet because it is sitting at 7. If this thing falls to 6.5, give me the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay. Give me the Texans plus the 7.
All right. Moving on to this next game, we are looking at the San Francisco 49ers on the road against the Carolina Panthers. The 49ers are sitting at 6.5-point favorites. Total is sitting at 39 points. 77% of the bets, 75% of the money on 49ers to cover that spread. 51% of the bets, 75% of the money on the under. 84% of the bets, 61% of the money on the 49ers on the money line. And let me know what you're thinking here. First take, brother.
I'm off this game.
Off of it?
Yeah.
49ers on not a short week, but they did just play a tough Monday night football game against a divisional opponent where they really made the Rams look bad.
Yeah, no play for me.
You don't have any plays here?
No.
Nothing that you're looking at? No tease, no total, no nothing?
No, just completely off this game.
Completely off. Okay. I'm going to be honest with you here. Something that strikes me is with 75% of the money on this under 39, it hasn't moved. It's pretty interesting. I could potentially see maybe the game going over. I don't know. Just because, the 49ers, the last 8 games away against Carolina, they're 1-7 in their last 8 away against the spread. And I don't know. It's tough. It's a really tough spot. Not a short week, but not a full week. And where was that game? Was that game on Monday? I can't remember. Was that in LA?
Yep, that was in LA. Or no, actually, that was in LA.
Interesting stat from Mark Lawrence playbook here, bro. 49ers are 0-8 away off of a straight-up division road win.
Yeah, that's a good stat to look for, but I'm just off the game. 49ers just got a good win. I'm just completely off this game.
Okay. I might look at right now. Take a 6-point teaser, 12.5-point dogs. 12.5-point dogs at home. You know I love them home dogs. I might just have a little fun. I might just have a little fun teaser ticket this week. With, like we talked about earlier, the Giants plus the points in a neutral site in London. Taking Cleveland plus 8.5 as home dogs. Taking who is it? The Jets as home dogs. We talked about maybe Washington as home dogs, teasing the total. I mean, there's a lot of home dogs this week, and I mean, you can mix and match those as you see fit. I might just have a little fun ticket and throw everything together. A little half unit on it just for fun, just to have action on some games that necessarily I wouldn't be on otherwise. But that's what I'm thinking here in this spot. I do like your just being off. It is, 49ers are coming off a big win, short week, but Carolina has just looked god awful. Matt Rule is just, I don't know how he still has a job. Baker Mayfield has just looked like a trash can.
Yeah, and you got that right.
So, if I'm looking at anything, I'm looking at teasing Panthers as a home dog here. But with that being said, we can move on to the next game. It's a Sunday afternoon game. It's a 1:25 Pacific time, 4:25 Eastern time kickoff. It's Dallas Cowboys at the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are sitting at 5.5-point favorites. Total is sitting at 43 points. Dallas has got 60% of the bets, 54% of the money on the spread, 53% of the bets, 75% of the money on the under 43, 55% of the money, 93% of the money on the money line on Dallas Cowboys. There's a lot of money on the Cowboys here. What do you think about this?
Cooper Rush looks pretty decent. Man, I think I'm leaning towards the Rams. Give me the Rams money line.
Cooper Rush is yet to lose a game as a starter, big dog. I think that's why all this money is skewed. So you're telling me the Rams are coming in and or not coming in, but they're at home and they're ending that trend?
Yeah, I think they're ending the trend.
Okay. I like it. I like it a lot.
I think they're really pissed off that they only scored 9 points against the 49ers. I think they should have scored more in that game.
Okay.
That pick really cost it for Matthew Stafford, but I think they're really pissed off about losing that game.
Yeah, I mean that pick six, that was detrimental. That was detrimental. We were sitting on the Rams team total over 9.5 points in the second half in that game. And would they get 3? So I don't know. Taking a look over Mark Lawrence's playbook though, really quickly. He doesn't have a play in this game. There's no ATS scorecard on this matchup. And let's see, 1-8 at home after a Monday night game. They broke that trend. 11-1 as dogs, greater than 7 points after a straight up loss. They didn't lose. I think. Are we making that an official play? Are we gonna take the? Are we gonna take the Rams minus 5.5? I'm liking it.
Yeah, let's make that official play. Rams money line is a high price, so let's lay with the minus 110 on the points.
All right, let's go. Moving on to the next game. It's also a 4:25 p.m. Eastern kickoff. It is the Philadelphia Eagles on the road against the Arizona Cardinals. Philly's 5-point road favorites. 51% of the bets, 83% or 51% of the bets on the Cardinals as 5-point dogs, only 17% of the money. 83% of the money, 49% of the bets on the Eagles to cover that 5 on the road. Total sitting at 49 points, 72% of the bets, 72% of the money on the over. And then you have 58% of the bets, 72% of the money on the Cardinals money line. Another road dog here. What are you thinking?
Man, I'm really thinking that the Eagles might get their first L right here.
I'm with you, man. I really think that this is a trap spot, and I'm not gonna jump the gun and take the Arizona Cardinals money line as of right now. But it's also hard to put your money on the Cardinals at home. They're a way better road team, which is just crazy. They are a better road team than they are a home team. But 5 points at home. Are we making that an official play?
Man, I'm not going to make an official play on the money line, but I see that the Cardinals cover here.
See that the Cardinals cover here? I could agree with you. Maybe the Cardinals don't win outright, right? I could see this being some not even a backdoor cover, but like a 3-point game. Maybe even the Cardinals leading late, and then they blow the lead, and the Eagles win by maybe a field goal, 4 points, something like that. Maybe the Cardinals are up 4, Eagles get the ball last, put in a touchdown, they win by 3, or maybe the Cardinals are up 3, Eagles go put in a late touchdown, they're up 4, forces Kyler Murray and the Cardinals to have the final possession. They have to drive to score a touchdown, and then they don't. Something along those lines. That's how I see this game going. I'm going to do it. If you're not, I will. I'm going to make it an official play. I'm going to take the Cardinals plus the points here at home. Not saying they're going to win, but I do like them to cover.
I mean, you could sprinkle a little money line on the Cardinals because the Eagles are due for an L.
That's true. I can't argue that. But let's move on to the Sunday night game. We have the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens have blown 2 leads 2 weeks in a row. Sitting at Baltimore minus 3.5. Totals at 48. Got 59% of the bets, 84% of the money on Baltimore. You have 62% of the bets on the over, only 16% of the money. You have 84% of the money on the under with only 38% of the tickets put in. 59% of the bets, 70% of the money on the Bengals money line here. And what are you thinking?
Man, I think this is going to be a really close game, seeing how last Sunday was a 10-point blowout. I think this game will be a really tight game. I think the Bengals will start it off here playing a tough Baltimore team. Give me Baltimore. I mean, not Baltimore. Bengals plus 3.5.
Bengals plus 3.5. Okay.
Yeah, make it official.
Official. Okay. I mean, Cincinnati is 4-1 in their last 5 away against the spread against Baltimore. One thing about this though is, I mean, I looking at the money, 84% of the money on the under. The totals went up 3 points. There are still questions about Baltimore's secondary and them blowing leads, this, that, and the other, right? Cincinnati has an offensive line problem. Can Baltimore put the pressure on Joe Burrow? Could Baltimore cover that 3.5? Absolutely. Could they win the game? Absolutely. I think I'm gonna put my official play here in on the under. I'm gonna put my official play here on the under and take it under 48. It's as simple as that. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about, Joey B and the offense that the Bengals had last year and what they've shown this year and what Baltimore's blowing leads and this, that, and the other. Could that happen again this week? Absolutely. Could the Bengals come out and put up some points early? Maybe. I just think the Bengals. Sorry, I just think that the Ravens are going to put a lot of pressure on Joey B here and really slow this game down. I like the under, and that's what I'm playing.
Okay.
Let's move on to the Monday night game. We got the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are sitting at 7-point favorites. Total sitting at 51. 71% of the bets, 82% of the money on the Chiefs, 80% of the money 80% of the bets, and 94% of the money on this over. 54% of the bets, 91% of the money on the Chiefs. What are you thinking?
Man, I really think the Chiefs are looking forward to their next game. I'm liking the Raiders plus the 7.
I'm liking the Raiders plus the 7 also. I just think there's too much money on the Chiefs. You know, they put up 41 points on the road last week against a really good Tampa Bay defense. And, you know, I think they put a lot of time and effort into that game. And I don't think that's something that's being replicated this week. You know, this is a divisional game. And, you know, the Raiders really play the Chiefs tough. One could say that the Raiders really build their teams to beat the Chiefs. And, you know, the Chiefs are 5-1 in their last 6 at home against the spread against the Raiders. But like we talked about earlier in the Buffalo breakdown, the Chiefs have to play the Bills next week. And this is a tough spot for them. Could the total go over? Absolutely. Look at Patrick Mahomes and look at the Raiders offense. The Raiders offense really has yet to gel like everyone thought it would. Even last week in their first win against Denver. I mean, we watched that game. Did you think that? Oh, there it is. There's that Raiders offense everyone's been talking about. Did you think that?
Man. I think the Raiders offense is going to start getting together and start beating teams. I think last week was the Derek Carr last week. The good Derek Carr.
And we have not yet done the breakdown from Monday, like looking at the history, because we like to take a look at, you know, the Monday games for the season. So we look at Sunday games as individual games. We look at Thursday games as individual games, and Monday night games as individual games. We like to look at and keep track of those totals, unders. Did the total go under or over? And how did road teams do? Because Monday night is typically a spot for dogs to come in. Maybe not win outright, even though they do a lot of the time. I know it was about over half the time the dog covers on Monday nights. And I just think that's another spot here. Haven't done the breakdown yet for this season week-on-week trend yet. I will be doing that. We will be dropping another video where we make our official picks. But I think right now, I think I'm going to make it official. Maybe we're going to grab a better spot, a better line when we do our official pick video. But Raiders plus 7. Raiders plus 7. Give it to me.
Yeah, give it to me too. Official. Sprinkle a little money line too.
I'll sprinkle a little money line too, you know, just for fun. And that does it for this Week 5 NFL breakdown. We will be dropping a video later this week, going more in depth on our official picks. We're also going to be dropping a college breakdown video tomorrow. But other than that, thank you for taking the time out of your day to go over these games with us. And again, we bet better.
Yes, sir. Let's make some cash.
Let's go ahead and cash these tickets. Let's go. Just really quick, actually, I do want to say something about this Thursday night game. You know Razor Picks from Pub Sports Radio, yeah?
Yeah.
Man, he has been on an absolute heater recently with his $300 straight bet picks, and he just dropped it right before this Thursday night game. Want to know something crazy? I was on that first half total under 20.5. I was saying I like that a lot. He dropped 330 on the over 42 Colts Denver. He's 10-1 on these picks this year. I might ride with him, honestly. You know, I might just drop off my under 20.5 pick and just ride his trend. He's 10-1. I'll ride a capper while he's hot. I did just want to drop that right before, because it's about to hit 5 o'clock. This game is about to start here in about 15-20 minutes.
Yep.
Just thought I might sprinkle that in there.
Yep.
Maybe. Who knows? But all right, guys, again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. If you haven't already, please go ahead, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. Let us know what you're thinking for these games. What are your guys' picks? What are you locking down this week? Do you like any totals? Do you like any teasers? And go ahead and follow us on our socials down there on the little ticker below. TikTok and Twitter is at betters_bet. Instagram is betters.bet. And let's go ahead and cash these tickets. We will be dropping some more videos later this week. Love you guys. Appreciate everybody that took the time to watch this. And let's cash better.
These tickets, baby.
Let's cash these tickets, because here on Betters Bets, we bet better.
Let's go.
Let's
ride.
go.